welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and this is a little bit of a different video today. As you may see, I'm in the dark here. I have turned my studio lights off for this one because what I do want to show you is something on the iPad. Now, I know I do have a program that means that I can just show you the screen and not my hands, etc. However, I want to be able to show you things as I'm doing them, and as much as I can do a voiceover over the top, got the ability to do that, I do tend to find that by doing that, what actually happens is it's not quite what I'm thinking as I'm doing. So I'm going to do it as just the screen of my iPad, and you can see mainly what you need to see, and my hands are sort of there in the dark. So yeah, there's a couple of different things I want to be showing you on this screen, but the first one that I've had loads and loads of questions about is the easy PDF reader that I use when doing my heaven and earth designs. So when I've been doing this heaven and earth designs recently, and I'm pulling up my chart and ticking on all the buttons and stuff, that's what I'm getting lots of questions about. So what I want to show you today, if I can get it to come off, let's do it that way, let's do it the right way, is the easy PDF app. So first things first, I am of course doing this on an iPad. That is what I use. So unfortunately, I don't know exactly what it may look like on a non-iPad, on an Android device. But this is, of course, the App Store. So you search for EZ PDF. Okay. Now it will bring up a few different apps. So you've got an easy PDF reader here that costs $1.99, and you've got this easy PDF reader here that does cost a bit more. Now they are both, I think, by the same company, if I remember rightly. However, this one is for iPhone, this one is for iPad. So this is the one you want with the logo at the top. Looks like it's got a letter R sort of in a triangle. This is the one that you want. It does cost money. There's a few different other options that come up, but this is the one that I use, and this is the iPad version. There is apparently, somebody has mentioned to me, there is one out for Android. They mentioned that it was a really good reader. What was it called now? Sorry, I'm trying to remember what it was that they said. Let me have a look-see. Pattern Keeper is the app. Apparently it is better than Easy PDF. I would love to try it, but I'm an Apple user. So as soon as they bring an Apple version out, then I will by all means have a look at it. But for those that don't have Android, this is the easy PDF reader. So once you've purchased that, if I can get it to come off. So once you've purchased that, you've got the option to have a look at where you want to find your documents. So I use iCloud, or you can choose something that was on your iPad. So you could email it to yourself, for example, and save it. But here's my chart. Oh, so I had the option then to choose on it, duplicate it, move it, delete it. So if you're unsure, you can always duplicate and have a number 2 version, which means anything you do, you're not going to harm your original pattern. So I've opened number 2. I tend to get rid of this. I'm not interested in all of this. What I'm using is basic. It's very basic. So I zoom in and I get to the section of my diamond painting that I'm working on. Now on the zoom here, that's between 400 and 500% to give me my little 4 square radius. And then you do have the option, so to choose, if I wanted to work on the square, tap on it until you've got these little 2 blue dots, and it gives you a few different options, and I choose search text. Now on this symbol it takes a little while because there's loads of them, but then what it'll do is it will highlight every one of that symbol. Now for me, that is what I use it for. If you're working on a block of 4, so for example, if you're working on a block down here that is so busy and you're choosing a symbol and you do search text, all of a sudden you find that they're in places you didn't quite see them. So I can tap on any of these and hit search text and it will find them all, which means I'm not opening a pot of diamonds and closing it again. Now the only thing is that you see there, I'm trying to zoom back out and back in and I can't. That's because I've selected something. So if you tap off it, then you can zoom again. Okay, so that's, I'll try when I'm working on my heaven and earth designs and point out little things that I notice as I go along. But that has highlighted everything of that symbol in that document. Now I do only pull up a page at a time of my design, and the reason for that is if you, for example, this square, so I choose a square and choose search text, and you see how long it's taken before it's found them all. That's because there is so many of them on this document. If I choose another symbol and hit search text, it's a lot quicker. Boom, it's done, because there's not many of them. If you had every single page of your chart on Easy PDF, it would search every single page. Now, I haven't found a way on this app of only having one page. I must admit I did do that on my Mac. I did a duplicate copy and got rid of every other page. So I'm sorry I can't give you those sorts of answers. But make sure you're not selected on anything. Zoom into the area that you're on, choose to search text, and once it catches up, okay, that's it, chosen your squares. Now you can then highlight and say drag across, and then when your options come up, instead of choosing search text, choose highlight, and it will highlight all those squares for you. But you do need to bear in mind, if you go onto 2 lines, it will do everything on those 2 lines. So quite often what I do is I'll tap on one symbol and tap highlight, and I'll just keep doing that until it's done them all. On this block I may decide to, in fact quite often it's not even giving me the 2 dots for me to then stretch it across. So I'll just tap on each symbol that I've done and highlight it that way. Okay, now once you've done quite a few symbols, you may find, so for example now if I wanted to click this G, it keeps thinking that I'm hitting the square above. Oh. Sorry, I made it speak. I didn't know it did that. So I may want to highlight on this G, and all the iPad's thinking is that I'm highlighting the square above. Okay, that is just because we are working on such small areas. So what we need to do to stop that happening is make sure you've not made any mistakes, and then on the top you hit on the 3 little dots. So just to do that again, you hit on the 3 little dots at the top and you want to choose flatten. Okay, now what that will do is that will save the document and you can't go back. You can't undo a step anymore, which is why you need to make sure it's right. But when you hit OK and come off it, that will then take any of your searches, so my search has disappeared, and any of your highlights now you won't be able to change. You'll be able to highlight it again, but it won't make any difference. But it does mean that you'll be able to tap on the next symbol. Okay, now it did keep going back to the one I just highlighted, but once you've flattened it, you'll then be able to go on to the next symbol, hit search text again, and then you'll be able to tap on them individually and hit highlight. Okay, so a benefit I do find of this is, for example, if I did hit the square again and hit search text, when it catches up, did it do it? There. So what I do find is helpful with this is when you've searched text, you can tap on one and hit highlight, and it will recognise that you're tapping each individual symbol. It's only when it's not in that search box that it will think you're tapping something else. So you can tap and highlight that, but it won't let you tap the G. It thinks you're tapping something else. But if it's in with a search, it will let you tap and highlight. Okay, and that is all that I really do with this. Is I tap on each of my next symbol, I search the text, I put those diamonds down, and then I'll highlight to say, yep, done that one, done that one, done that one. And when it starts getting tricky and it won't let me click on the next symbol that I need, then I go up to the top, flatten, come off it, and then zoom back in, and it'll let me tap on the one next to it instead. And that is all I use this for. I'm sure that pattern maker, sorry, what was it, pattern maker? No, pattern something. Pattern Keeper. Pattern Keeper on Android, I'm sure that's great. Bring it to iPad if it is, and I'll be happy to give it a go. But at the moment, this is the best one I've found for me, to be able to highlight the symbols and stuff that I'm working on. And it has worked really, really well. You can change what colour. So on the highlight, if you click on colour, it will let you choose a different colour. So you can choose to highlight it any colour that you like. So maybe some other colour will work better for you. Maybe you see purple better. There's a few different shades of purple. There's a light teal shade. So then every time you now highlight something, it will highlight it in that colour instead. You've also got the option, as you see, to speak or to share it. I only tend to hit those by accident. But yeah, you choose what works for you in highlighting. To be honest, as much as I really like that blue colour, I do think a darker colour may be easier to see what you've really done. Maybe I'll try that on my next page of Heaven and Earth Designs and see how that works. But you can zoom in however much you need to. If you're only doing one square, you can zoom right in. That's at 932%, to make it a lot easier for you to be able to see your symbols, and also make it a lot easier for you to hit your various buttons and go from there. So yeah, that's my short, quick app on, or instruction on, the Easy PDF. I hope this has been helpful to you. Please ask any questions. If I do know the answer, I'll of course let you know. But really, I don't really use it for anything else. And then I'll just reopen it again where I left off, zoom in, and off I go. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.